Man, guess who's back? I said, guess who's back? What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. So we're going to get straight into this issue, this ongoing issue. Is the fight happening or not? Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, undisputed. Everyone was excited for this fight. It's been delayed time and time again. And now I just don't know where we are with this fight. Is the fight going ahead or not? I've heard a lot of conflicting information from various people. I've heard Tyson Fury himself sounding very disillusioned himself with the fight. And when he sounds like that, the fight just normally doesn't go ahead. We saw the same kind of delay tactics with the fight with Anthony Joshua, which was really annoying because everyone wanted to see that fight. I really want to see the fight with Anthony Joshua. I felt like that was Tyson Fury who was holding that up because he was giving him some unfair demands. Anyway, we moved on from that. And then we had the fight with Derek Chisora, which nobody asked for, in which I think Tyson Fury just carried him through the fight. And I think the fans, including myself, feel a bit cheated by that fight because nobody wanted it. Everyone knew what was going to happen because Tyson Fury had beaten him twice already. And, you know, he beat him for a third time in a fight that looked like a sparring match. It was just a waste of people's time and a waste of some people's money, which was, I wasn't going to pay for this. But the people who did pay for this, it was a waste of their time and their money, you know. And then now, the only kind of light at the end of the tunnel was the fact that at the end of this ridiculous tune-up fight with Chisora, we was going to get undisputed with Alexander Usyk. And since then, there's been a whole plethora of excuses. There's been, the stadium is not going to be ready in Saudi Arabia, apparently. Prior to that excuse, there was the issue with the money. Tyson Fury's always said that he's a guy, he's a real fighter. He comes from a long line of fighters. He doesn't care about the money. He's got enough money to last him a lifetime and stuff like that. And he's always kind of portrayed that image that he doesn't care about the money. Now, he's not allowing Alexander Usyk to get 50%. But why not? Is it because he thinks he's the A-side? I thought he wasn't a person who was interested in all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of just like another contradiction. You know, Alexander Usyk, in my estimation, is worth 50-50. You know, he is actually, you know, an unbeaten champion. He's an unbeaten champion with 3 of the belts. And Tyson Fury has 1 of the belts, and he's got a draw on his record. So, you know, 50-50 seems very more than fair. But that's just my estimation. I don't know what's going on with the negotiations, but what I do know and what I do trust is that Alexander Usyk has signed his side of the agreements because his team, have been quite transparent about them agreeing to the terms and signing their side of it. You know, and that can't really be said about Tyson Fury's side. There's been a lot of different negotiations. Like I said, he was unhappy with the percentages, with the money. There seems to be this incentive for, not incentive, but it seems to be that Tyson Fury is in competition with Anthony Joshua. Because I know he's got something against Anthony Joshua and he doesn't want to take less money than Anthony Joshua got for the rematch with Alexander Usyk. So he wants more money than that. And I think so he's probably looking at trying to get 80 to 100 million. And maybe the Saudis don't want to pay that. And so there's been a hold up. There's also been an issue which hasn't been talked about. And I think this may be an underlying issue that Tyson Fury may actually be injured. He had an elbow injury that's been ongoing. And maybe he thought that it would be better by a certain time. And it hasn't got better. And he still has this injury. And maybe they're just like using these delay tactics so that he can fully recover. Because often when someone's got an injury and a fight is made, they don't want to talk about that because there's a lot of implications, you know, financial implications if you've got an injury and stuff like that. So it could be the fact that they're just covering up for Tyson Fury's injury. Putting that aside, if they do sort out the issue with the 50-50 split, if they do sort out, well, there's the issue with the venue now. Recent information that has come out, they've said that they may have to have the venue, the fight in Wembley instead. So now the talks are that it's very likely it's going to take place in Wembley. Now, if that's the case, I think Tyson Fury will probably get even less money because, if it's going to be in Wembley, it's probably only going to make, 30, 40 million. And if he's been quite adamant that he wants more than that, then he's not going to get that in Wembley. But maybe, I don't know. It's very difficult to know. I've heard Frank Warren in an interview. I think it was with I'm not sure who it was with the interview, but he was in an interview, Frank Warren, and he sounded quite convinced that the fight was going to happen. He was optimistic, I would say. He said that the fight should happen, but if it doesn't happen, it will be it's not their fault. It will just be that negotiations broke down and stuff like that. So you can't really trust what he says as a promoter. But I wouldn't be surprised if this fight doesn't happen at all, the way it looks. And the worst thing is I've kind of just lost that enthusiasm for it a little bit. I mean, I'm not completely, I haven't completely lost enthusiasm for it, but my enthusiasm has definitely started to wane a little bit because of the constant delays and shifting the goalposts, and we just don't know if the fight is actually going to happen. So if the fight doesn't happen, I don't want to put that out there, but if the fight doesn't happen, what happens next? Well, Alexander Usyk, as a unified champion, he has a lot of mandatories, so he would have to fight one of these mandatories. I believe I believe he may have to fight maybe Daniel Dubois, because Daniel Dubois is the WBA champion. But Daniel Dubois is injured. I'm not sure what his injury is, but he's injured. I think, with the last fight that he had, he had an injury, I think, to his ankle or something like that. So Daniel Dubois is unlikely to be able to take a fight with Alexander Usyk. And in that case, if he can't fight, the WBA being priority, they may make a fight with maybe Martin Bakole or something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that fight. If not, we have Filip Hrgovic, the IBF champion. I think it's unlikely that we'd get a fight with Joe Joyce, which is a shame because that's the only fight I'd like to see. If we didn't get the Alexander Usyk fight, the only other fight I'd be interested in would probably be Joe Joyce, to be honest. And that's a fight that would be difficult to make, actually, because of the rankings and some politics. But, there may be a way around it. So that's the only fight I would like to see if the Alexander Usyk fight fell through. But to be honest, I'd be very upset if it fell through because I was looking forward to Anthony Joshua. I was looking forward to Alexander Usyk. We didn't get any of them. We got Derek Chisora, And it is very likely that Tyson Fury will fight somebody else because he doesn't have any mandatories at the moment. He's actually, free. He can fight anyone he wants. And he seems quite interested in making this Francis Ngannou fight. So I wouldn't be surprised if that comes along all of a sudden, and I think it's just going to ruin his reputation if he does that, so we really don't know where we are at the moment. There's even been talks that behind the scenes, they've been trying to make a fight with Deontay Wilder, a fourth fight with Deontay Wilder. Now, that would completely ruin Tyson Fury's reputation because nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see a fourth fight with Deontay Wilder, especially after seeing the sparring match with Chisora. No one wants to see this. And that's no disrespect to Deontay Wilder. He's one of my favourite fighters. I think he's one of the most underestimated fighters, underappreciated, I should say. But Deontay Wilder has his own journey. He started boxing late and he relied on just his power, which got him through 40-plus men knockout, which is an amazing achievement. I think a lot of people underappreciate that about him. Obviously, when you come up against people right at the top level of boxing, people like Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, who have boxing skills, you're going to come unstuck, and that's what we saw. There's no shame in that. But the good thing is Wilder is back and he's working now on his boxing. He's now working on his footwork. He's gone back to his weight, his correct weight, instead of trying to put on all this muscle, try and match Tyson Fury's size. That didn't work for him. It only gassed him out. And now he's gone back to his proper weight. I've seen him running. He looks the fittest that he's ever been. I've seen him working on, like I said, his footwork, his jab, his feints, his moving. So really, he's now learning his boxing skills now. Now, some people say, oh, that's too late. It's never too late. You know, it's never too late. I would rather see Deontay Wilder work on his skills than for him to just jump back in the ring at this opportunity where Fury is free if he doesn't fight Usyk, you know, and kind of ruin his career before he's really developed himself properly. So I don't want to see that fight. I'm guessing nobody else wants to see that fight. And it's about time they stop just, you know, piss-balling about and, you know, make this fight happen. Alexander Usyk, who I have more faith in, especially when he's more reliable in the things that he says. I believe that he's signed all the terms. I believe that he is definitely game. And, you know, if anyone is holding up the fight, I'm more likely to think that it's Tyson Fury making some kind of unfair demands. But I don't want to throw him under the bus because I don't know exactly what's holding up the fight. You know, do I believe that both men want the fight? I do. I do believe both men want the fight, but I have a feeling that Tyson Fury wants the fight, but he wants it more on his terms. And I also feel that Tyson Fury is the least enthusiastic about the fight out of the two fighters because he has more options. If the fight with Usyk doesn't happen, which he knows is going to be a tough fight, he's got fights, you know, outside of boxing with Francis Ngannou, and I think he likes the fact that he has that freedom. So I don't think he's that enthusiastic for the fight to be made, even, you know, from interviews that I've seen him. He doesn't seem that enthusiastic. He seems to be getting a bit disillusioned with the whole thing. And, you know, at the moment, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for us boxing fans at the moment. But let me know your thoughts anyway. What do you think is the hold-up? Who do you think's holding it up? Whose side do you think is responsible? Who do you think, if the fight goes ahead, who do you think's going to win? I did a video before on who I thought was going to win. And I'm not saying I've changed my mind, but at first, I was quite strongly in Usyk's camp, that Usyk would win for various reasons. I do like Usyk a lot. I think he's a real, you know, he's a complete fighter. But I've kind of swayed a little bit, maybe 60-40 towards, or maybe less than that, but towards Tyson Fury. Just thinking about it a little bit more, I kind of feel like Tyson Fury has some intangibles that are really difficult to deal with. I think Tyson Fury is very unique in a lot of ways, obviously being almost 7 foot, 270 something, 280 pounds is just a very difficult, they're very difficult dimensions to deal with. You know, I would have to favour Tyson Fury, just being a much bigger man as well, having more experience at heavyweight. I would have to favour him a little bit more. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think this fight goes ahead? I'm on to the next one. If you enjoyed the video today, please don't forget to like, share, leave a comment, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.